Russian TV screens glow with endless victory marches. The images are controlled, repetitive, precise. But inside the Kremlin, the mood is different. The corridors are on edge. The structure behind the image is under visible strain. Pressure is surfacing inside the State Duma. What is presented to the public as unity is starting to break apart in real time. The chamber, built as a symbol of control, echoes with open disagreement. This is no longer routine political exchange. The tone signals escalation. April 21st, 2026. Communist Party leader Gennady Zyuganov takes the parliamentary rostrum. He speaks directly. He calls the first quarter a failure. Economic indicators are worsening. He warns that without immediate action, the country could face conditions similar to 1917 by the fall. The chamber reacts immediately. The message is clear. Zyuganov defines the consequences in historical terms: a violent systemic collapse. This is not an abstract reference to Tsarist Russia. It is placed directly at the center of the current policy failure. April 15th. A high-level economic meeting unfolds under visible pressure. Reports confirm a 1.8% contraction in the first 2 months of the year. Vladimir Putin responds publicly. His tone is controlled but sharp. He criticizes his ministers directly, on record. The acknowledgement is clear. The war is impacting the national economy. Inside the Kremlin, the dynamics are different. Loyalty becomes wariness. Decision-making is reactive. Even figures who were before aligned with the state narrative begin to diverge. Ilya Remizlo, once a trusted propaganda voice, is now openly calling Putin a war criminal. Operation Twilight is the name of a potential internal operation which the outside media is reporting. The parallel conditions structure the comparison with 1917, and then the Romanov dynasty was torn apart by a long war, economic collapse, and internal dissent. Bread riots there were. Soldiers abandoned the positions. Authority was split. Within months, the monarchy fell and the Bolsheviks took over. Current conditions reveal similar stress points. Ukraine war is fueling economic exhaustion. Continued pressure weighs on industrial output. This process is speeded up by the change in warfare. Ukraine's drone strategy changes how the battlefield looks. Cheap but powerful systems can evade conventional defenses. Long-range drones attack deep into Russian territory. Air defense networks do not consistently intercept. Strategic targets are disclosed. Energy infrastructure comes into play. Oil refineries and processing plants are repeatedly hit. 20 to 40% of export capacity is disrupted. Refinery production drops by nearly 500,000 barrels per day. Direct loss, $13 billion. Then the economic impact. Oil revenue drops 45% in first quarter 2026. Federal budget shows $61 billion deficit in 3 months. Emergency measures in effect. Exports of gasoline will be halted until July 2026 to boost domestic supply. The shift is apparent in defense assessments. Ukraine has a technological edge in the drone war. Air defense systems are degraded. Radar coverage is reduced. Missile stocks decline. Kremlin and other key sites are being fortified with extra defenses. On the front lines, momentum stops. The planned spring offensive does not come to pass. Drone saturation stops mechanized advances prior to contact. Places like Sumy and Kostiantynivka are kill zones with heavy attrition. The official reports say that progress is being made. Field data says otherwise. In March 2026 alone, Russian forces suffered 35,000 casualties. 96% of those are related to drone strikes, mostly FPV systems. Combat effectiveness diminishes. Equipment loss reduces mechanized strength. Units change to motorcycles and ATVs. The formations are still exposed. They're spotted by drone surveillance and hit before they even get into position. Infantry situation worse. Protective gear shortages have been reported. Aerial observation is constant and reduces survivability. Tactical options are limited. No significant territorial gain, but losses mount. Inside the Duma, criticism grows fiercer. The discrepancy between official narratives and battlefield reality is highlighted. Pressure spreads beyond the front throughout society. More than 20% inflation. Food prices go up. The service sector is about to collapse. Tax hikes, including a VAT increase to 22%, exacerbate financial strain. Public opinion swings sharply. According to data from March 2026, 67% of the population wants the war to stop now. Support for ongoing operations falls to 24%, the lowest point since the conflict began. Curtailing information control, central Moscow goes dark digitally, access to mobile internet and telegram is restricted. The move is meant to contain information, but it feeds frustration. Protests begin to surface. Suppressed discontent emerges in bursts. A widely viewed video by Victoria Bonya gains traction, signaling a shift in public expression. Systemic issues expand nationwide. Infrastructure failures and regional neglect drive dissatisfaction. In remote regions, resource distribution becomes a central grievance. Local voices openly challenge centralized authority. The government responds internally. Corruption probes target senior defense officials. Arrests attempt to contain fractures. The FSB Academy is renamed after Felix Dzerzhinsky, reinforcing authority. Across military, economic, and social sectors, pressure builds. Each layer shows signs of fatigue. Drone warfare remains the central factor. It disrupts logistics, weakens revenue, and alters battlefield dynamics. It also erodes the perception of state invulnerability. Zhuganov's warning reflects this convergence. Economic decline, battlefield losses, and public unrest align into a single trajectory. Inside the Kremlin, responses continue, meetings, directives, restrictions, but conditions shift faster than control measures can adapt. The indicators remain active. Pressure continues to build, and the system moves forward under growing instability with no clear point of stabilization. Thanks for watching. This is Global Decode 13, where we break down global power, strategy, and geopolitics in simple terms. No noise, no hype, just clear understanding. If you want to see what's really happening beneath the headlines, make sure you're here for the next Decode. I'll see you in the next one.